Morning to a day in paradise, day 149. Check. What's he saying? Apparently he's got to call his boss. He's not happy about using his credit. Should give him a mobile phone, shouldn't he? Anyway, so Saturday. Of all days to be on a construction site, it's Saturday. But today the boys are here waiting to put together their 4-foot beams. We're going to go up here. So the boxing's going to go in. As you can see, the carpenters getting ready and finishing off. We've also got to get some stuff on the floor to protect the floor. Let's shout out to him actually now. Beckles, let's get some stuff on the floor to protect the floor. So we need to get, the guys are going to put rebar on the floor here. This is meant to be a polished floor. So we need to get some stuff on the floor just to protect. So we need to get some plywood sheets on the floor for the rebar boys, otherwise they're going to obviously damage it. Let's get the labourers to get a couple of sheets over here for them. Maybe put 4 sheets here. They're going to need loads, aren't they? Let's get the labourers over. Common sense prevails. So, Ford and his boys are putting together the undercover boxing, all double sheeted, and obviously they're going to go from, if I can point, from here all the way across to the column and across the other side. That forms the base for the rebar to be built on. So they're going to need to put jacks underneath all the way along. We've got plenty of jacks over there, obviously. See a jack sitting there, so they'll probably have a jack every 3 or 4 foot all the way along on the actual wooden door track. The biggest problem here is that what they need to do is from an angle, both sides support the beam for when it's poured with concrete, because it's going to be monstrous. So they're probably going to have to put 2 lots of 4x2, so 20-foot length here, 20-foot length out there, and they're going to have to then support them up that way. So they'll fix into here and then fix down into it that way, so they're not drilling into the floor, but they're going to have to do that. These are the cage stirrups that are going to go around, so as you can see they are absolutely monstrous. They're going to go upright all the way along, so it'll be the same sort of size as this all the way through to the other end. So today the boys have got to build those. They've got to put the cages into here. They've got to do the same on the front. They've got to do the same down the sides. They've already done the front one here, but they've now got to go up from the front one again. So yeah, plenty to be done, that's for sure. And obviously Trevor, the carpenter's up there at the moment, because he's obviously looking to put the front formwork even higher now. So very similar to the front, as you can see. The front boxing is now at that height, but obviously down there we're lower. So they're putting the front has actually got a 2-foot beam going here. They're probably going to go another beam on top of that, and then they can do the boxing so it looks like this. So eventually what's going to happen in here, obviously the plywood sheets are going to go up top all the way across, but we've got to get the acros going up first, propping up all of these 4x2s, and then once they've done that they're going to crack into this side. So lots to do today. Hopefully the supervisor can keep them on their game. Not that he's here to supervise them, he's here to supervise the supervisor. But as we've said numerous times, he doesn't have anybody here. The steps have dried last night, so as we said, not the prettiest steps in the world, but they're going to get completely covered with a pool finish. The pool finish is going to cover everything, all the way through here, all the way up here, all the way across the step. And we need to make sure the step is obviously level as well, because we're getting mortar there, so just obviously a little bit more leveled that way. Not that it's about the water. Once it's full of water, who cares? Steps over here, as we saw yesterday, are finished. They've dried off a bit better now, so the formwork at some stage can come off of those. The formwork again today can come off of the front beams we did on Wednesday night as well, so they're ready to do. Sorry, Thursday night. So yeah, I need to build a bit of a plan as to what we're going to try and do today. I mean, they all know they're doing shit, so we also need to get the labourers covering those columns. We keep talking about it. Today I need to make sure I set that as a bit of a goal for Beckles to ensure that actually gets done. There's plenty of labourers on site, and as we saw yesterday, they are very good at hiding. So we need to be one step ahead of them and make sure that we're setting them tasks and keeping on top of them. If you don't keep on top of them, they obviously slack off, unfortunately. So I'll speak to him in a minute about that. The other thing we're trying to do, obviously, is to dig out where the septic tank is. So let's have a quick look at that now. So 10:15, let's have a quick look at where we are with the actual. So we've now got the first part of the concrete base, which was laid last night. We now need to put some rebar down and pour a little bit more. we're now down to rock on here, so we can go in and getting this up. The tank is now out, as you can see. We've now got to make sure we get that tank back in at the level it should have been in the first place. So the biggest problem at the moment on the height we have here is the bucket arm and the depth we can go down to, which has proven a little bit of an issue, especially with not knocking all this back in again. So we need to take a laser from that pipe there, and we need to get the level put over here. We then got to work out how deep we need to be this time, ensuring that we account for the level of sand and stone that needs to go into the base to ensure that the tank, when it's pressured, doesn't end up being on rock or whatever else. So I think what happened last time is there's probably 10-12 inches worth of base that needs to go in, and that wasn't taken into the account. So as a result of that, we land up being 10-12 inches too high. So pulling the laser is the first thing we need to do to establish exactly where the level is of that pipe, then measuring down the depth we need versus the preparation on the floor to ensure when the tank goes back in, we're at the right angle. Then once that's done and the backfill has taken place properly, we can then also then start working on the suck well, because the suck well is obviously what the water in Barbados, I don't know if you guys know, but what they use here is the sea levels to flush through our waste, which is a bit unbelievable, but that's how it works. So once that's done, it's going to be essential to get that looked into as well. So still plenty more to do, but at least we're out and we can start now getting those levels done properly. Bit cruel, but Junior! 12. Quick update. Looking a lot tidier through here. Certainly a lot tidier through here. We've got a concrete base that's being done now over the manhole, so that'll be redone. We've got obviously everything moved around. We've got block walls going up, but we're hilty-less at the moment, so we can't actually chop into this wall at the moment. That's going to hold us up and get that sorted. As I said earlier on, the straights are going over. We're now pretty much 3/4 of the way through that side as well. So this afternoon it's going to be boarding up there if we can get the jacks. But we are being held up at the moment. All of these boards are pretty much near and ready to go up. So they're just putting in the actual fascia to support the weight. And then acros are going and pulling those up. It looks like it's sagging slightly, so I need to look at that. Need to make sure they're dead straight, but I think they probably just put them in to hold them up for now. The guys are actually boxing in the front of the beam as well over there, as you can see. Boxing on this side. So once that's done, they can actually pour the beam itself, which would be amazing. What else? Obviously this side's going up as well, ready. The steels are up, ready for the 4-inch beam. Ring beams are being made as we speak, and in an ideal world they need scaffolding now so they can install them in and around in here, and also in the middle. As you can see, the middle's all gone up ready. So anywhere around the building where there's a 2-foot, then that's what these are going in for. So as you can see, that's now straight across. They're going to finish off going over there as well. And I think they've already started putting in the beams in the front box over here. So that's actually been boxed on the front and the back. No, it hasn't. I think it's just the back, sorry. Let's go out on the scaffolding and have a look. Okay. No, nothing at the front at the moment. So they'll be put into place at some stage. But what they have done is put the beam over through the middle. Just about to see it through there, look. So it's just in place there. And they're actually boxing over the other side as well. So that's good to go. But the guys are desperately in need of scaffolding. So, I say desperately, not desperate, but they need scaffolding here, obviously to do this front piece. And they've got enough here. So at the moment you've got the rebar guys doing that and they need to move along. We need more. So I've just ordered some scaffolding because we can't wait any longer, but I don't know if it's going to be able to come today. But they do need it because they also need to be taking all this boxing off as well. And hopefully we've got enough boards to be going up because some of our boards were taken from site. So I'm hoping we've got enough to physically go around to do the job. Other than that, we've still got quite a bit to do. Obviously, we're after taking these boxings off, getting the scaffolding here. We're rebar short, so we need the rebar. Everybody's gone to lunch for now. As you can see, it's like a ghost town. And we've also got to sort out the drainage down here as well, which I need the plumber to get onto as soon as possible. So we'll see how the day goes. Saturday and Sunday is always a bit of a misfire, but hopefully fingers crossed we'll still get something achieved for the day, that's for sure. It is 20 to 6. Got the fam with me, my mum, 2 of my daughters. Yo. Starting to take shape a bit more. Got roofs on, got scaffolding here. What we got. What's happened today whilst I've been away? I've only been away for 4 hours, but... Okay, so we've got the front beams taking a bit of shape, so they're both in place. They both obviously need to be adjusted up. You know, babe? They both got to be adjusted up, obviously. That's what's going to house the 4-foot beams. The side beams are actually being boxed up, one end. The beams have got to be extended now, obviously, throughout.
What is this?
Just be careful, otherwise you'll trip up, okay? So, scaffolding's in here, so the guys have been using that. The beam's got to be, unfortunately, the beam had to be extended across. Need to talk to them about that. That's your swimming pool. So I was under the impression that the beam, it might be extended above. So the beam's got to go straight across into here, and then, so straight across into here, and then it's also T-junctioned into this piece here. Beam at the front is now looking at, got bars going across. So that'll be extended across as well. What else? So this one's obviously been done the same, but obviously not finished. I need to get some scaffolding. Maybe they have any wheels. Wow. So some scaffolding delivered. Let me work out what's what. In here obviously is looking very different. It's now obviously taking shape with regards to what's in and what's not in. So as you can see, this beam now has been boxed in. It's got a little bit of support there, but we need more acros, the taller ones, because as I say, we're 12-foot ceilings in here. So it's now giving you a little bit of a view on how tall the ceilings are going to be compared to the front of the house anyway. So the boarding across here will be done quite quickly, so it's about just making sure we can get the acros in and supported up. We need to make sure we draw out the flooring first to make sure that we get them in and around where we want them to be. Rebar boys leaving cable everywhere as always. Need to make sure we get that swept up because that rusts really quickly and then leaves marks on the floor. So yeah, at the moment obviously we've got this bit all boxed in now. The connection has actually been made here and here. We've got the beam on the other side that's been done as well, which is awesome. The columns have been painted with the wetcrete, so that's now got the first element of sealant on it. I'm not too sure if a guy managed to do two coats. I'm sure he didn't by the looks of it. Looks like he's forgotten. You can tell the colour. Saying that one does look darker than the other one, so maybe he did get around to doing that one at least. So yeah, the ceiling will start coming across here. So now they've got the steel in here. The formwork will start going across this side, but I'm sure the carpenters will do this side first. They'll do that side first, get that finished off. They'll probably, and depending on the jacks, they might start going across this side first, but the 4-foot beam's got to be built here first. And then the inside boxing gets done, and then they come off of that. So they don't have to wait for the steel. They need to make sure all that's in and supported properly, and then they'll go up on that side and then come straight across. This beam will obviously be going across here, boxed in. That will form part of the support network like here. But yeah, it's looking reasonably tall inside. So that's going to be the ceiling. Well, above this is going to be the ceiling height. So above this this timber will be about another inch, and that will be the ceiling height. So pretty awesome. Guys have left this open, which is a bit naughty. This is meant to be sealed, so we need to have a look down there in a minute as well. Other than that, let's have a quick look at the drainage. Today they were laying the concrete base and then doing some block work, and they were also doing the stairs walls, but at the same time the Hilti gun has been taken from site, so yeah, it's still the same. They have to break into the wall here to connect the block walls, in this block wall into this, so they can't carry on until they've got that, which is a bloody shame. But it looks like they've got the rebar down there, and they've got the first stage of concrete, but it looks like they've just left it as it is for today. So Saturdays, when they're not supervised, are normally a day they work, but not as seriously. as they normally would do. Rebar's being made over here, so they've made most of the cages and brought them up, and then they're also making some cages in place. So that's pretty cool. And obviously they're then working on getting up on the scaffolding and loading them in. We've got some scaffolding delivered today, so we need to get that erected into 4 twin towers and then run them along with boards, and they can obviously go right across the whole thing. So anyway, that's where we are so far. Close the play today. Sunday we'll be back here tomorrow. Probably another sort of 5-6 hour day, and then we'll see whether we can get some of this boxing finished off and installed. So all in all, not a bad day.